Now moving on to, I think one of the worst aspects of this device, if I'm being honest, it probably will have to be the specific software versions that this device got. So it originally started off with iOS 6. It did eventually get up to iOS 10.3, which I think is actually a pretty decent version of software to end off at because, the iPhone 5 and all those type of devices also stopped at iOS 10.3. But the bad thing is that you're really not getting anything beyond that. And I think that's probably one of the biggest problems with this type of device, which you're really getting at is that you're having a device that's already multiple versions of software, versions of, dated. But on top of that, you're not getting any of the newer software versions. So that's a humongous problem. The longer you wait to pick up this device, the less and less it is, worth it in terms of a software standpoint. And everything is kind of based around the software. You can have the greatest hardware in the world, but if you have a super, outdated version of software, you're really not going to be getting that, stable of a device in terms of the performance. So it really just comes down to the software versions, to be honest. And in this case, you're getting a super outdated version of software, but on top of that, the apps that are getting updated are also pretty outdated as well. It's not like you're getting, the most up-to-date version of software every single time. And on top of that, the apps are just gonna, at some point, they're probably already not getting the most latest version of software. So you can get, Snapchat downloaded and all these other apps downloaded, but maybe next year, Snapchat will stop support on iOS 10 devices. They already kind of have on a lot of other apps. So sooner or later, it's gonna be your app that you want, and maybe it won't be supported on your device. So that's another pretty big problem of this specific device. However, on the flip side, one of the best things about this specific iPad is the battery life and the battery size. This thing has an 11,560 milliamp hour battery inside of it, and that's actually an extremely large, battery to have on this type of device. At the end of the day, as I stated before, when you have a device like this, yes, the software is outdated, maybe it's not the best performing device anymore, but you are getting such a long battery life from this thing that in a way, it makes me kind of happy to have it kind of as maybe a media consumption device. If you want to watch movies and stuff, this thing will last you all day. This thing will last for many, many car trips on a single charge. And I think those things in and of itself are huge assets for this type of device. Again, every single other area of this iPad I'm not really a huge fan of, but that battery life is a pretty respectable size for sure. So in terms of that simultaneously covers probably the worst aspect of this device and the best thing about this device at the same time. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up. Now